Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a really interesting look into soybean farming.
Yes, specifically, a method that sounds quite cutting edge. Ultra-high yield cultivation for spring-sown soybeans using film drip irrigation.
Right. And for listeners who want to get the core information efficiently, we've gone through a detailed guide on this. We're here to pull out the key insights, make it engaging, easy to follow.
Exactly. Think of it as the highlights reel, but with, the important technical depth. Our mission today is understanding the main principles, the specific techniques behind this, and really how it ramps up soybean production so significantly.
Okay, so diving in. The material we looked at frames this whole approach as a response to agricultural policy needs, but also just smart use of regional resources.
That's right. The core idea is basically integrating advanced tech with, well, really scientific management. It's aimed at a serious jump in yields and overall planting benefits,
Not just tweaking things, but a real systemic change.
pretty much. And it's particularly suited for areas with plenty of sun, good heat, and crucially good irrigation setups already in place. Those conditions let the tech really shine.
Makes sense. So let's break down these core technologies. The text points to three main pillars. First up, dense planting cultivation. Sounds simple, maybe just more seeds, but I suspect there's more to it.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just crowding them in. Dense planting here means a very calculated density. It's scientifically worked out based on the traits of the specific soybean variety you're using.
Okay.
The fundamental goal is maximizing how you use the land, the light, the heat available. It's about efficiency.
So finding that optimal number of plants per area.
Precisely. Get the density right, and the plants tend to spread out more evenly. That evenness is key. It means better light capture across the whole field.
So more leaves get sunlight.
Exactly. More efficient photosynthesis across the board.
hmm
And that translates directly to a higher yield for the entire group of plants. It's about boosting the collective output.
Got it. More sun, more growth fuel. Okay, second core tech. Drip irrigation integrated with water and fertilizer. The text calls this the core, emphasizes precise nourishment. Sounds way beyond just open a valve.
It really is a leap. Traditional methods, well, they can be pretty wasteful. Water evaporates, runs off, nutrients wash away or aren't there right when the plant needs them.
Right.
This integrated drip system, it's targeted. You're delivering the exact water needed and a specific nutrient mix right to the root zone. And crucially, timed perfectly to the plant's growth stage. Precision ag, basically.
Like a custom meal plan for the soybeans, changing as they grow. Can you give an example of that precision?
Sure. So in the seedling stage, the plants are small, focused on vegetative growth. They need more nitrogen then, but less water overall. The drip system delivers just that.
Okay.
Then, boom, flowering and pod setting. Critical time. Water needs to shoot up.
Hmm.
And they need more phosphorus and potassium for flowers, for pods. System adjusts, ramps up water, changes the nutrient mix right there, right then.
Wow, that level of control must save a lot of resources. Minimum waste, maximum uptake. All right, third core tech. Chemical regulation. Now, chemical can sound a bit alarming, but the text frames it as guiding the plant's shape for better yield. What's involved?
Good point. Yeah, chemical regulation here isn't about pesticides primarily. It's using plant growth regulators, or PGRs. Think of them as substances that influence how the plant naturally grows.
Okay.
By applying these PGRs at specific times very precisely, you encourage certain growth patterns. You're essentially shaping the plant for optimal yield, influencing its architecture, you could say.
What kind of architecture? The text mentions thicker stems, good branching, even leaf distribution. Why are those things good?
Right. Those traits create what's called an optimized plant structure and population structure too. Thicker stems mean less lodging plants falling over, which kills yield.
Oh,
Good branching means more spots for pods to form. And even leaves mean the whole canopy intercepts light efficiently. Better photosynthesis again, plus better airflow, which can cut down on diseases.
so you use these regulators to help the plant build itself better for production and resilience. The text mentions spraying mepiquat chloride early on.
Exactly. That one helps control the length of the internodes, the stem bits between leaves.
Yes.
Shorter internodes make the plant stockier, sturdier, less likely to flop over when it gets heavy with pods later. It's a targeted intervention for a stronger plant.
Okay, that makes sense. Dense planting, precise water and nutrients, and shaping the plant itself. Those are the core ideas. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty technical details. The text starts with a yield target that sounds, well, huge. Over 400 kilograms per mu.
It is ambitious.
Yeah.
And yeah, a mu is about a sixth of an acre, roughly 667 square meters. So 400 kilos from that. That's significant output.
Definitely. And to hit that, they have these detailed yield composition indicators, specific numbers for plants per area, nodes, pods. It feels like a very tight process.
They're crucial. Think of them as the operational checklist, the roadmap. They break that big 400-kilogram target down, like aiming for 24,000 to 28,000 harvested plants per moo. And targets for main stem nodes, 16 to 20. Pods per plant, 35 to 50. Over 100 grains per plant. Even grain weight targets 100 grains weighing 20-25 grams. Total grain per plant, 21-25 grams.
Wow.
This level of detail is really characteristic of this high-intensity approach. It lets you track progress, make adjustments,
Well, no,
your own course.
So you're constantly measuring against these benchmarks. Okay, next up, variety selection. Seems obvious you need the right seed, but this sounds fundamental here.
Absolutely fundamental, yeah.
Yeah.
The variety has to fit the local climate, the growing season length, the heat units, but it also has to have the genetic potential to actually respond well to all this intensive management.
Okay.
You need a plant that can handle and utilize the high inputs.
Right, it needs the right genetics. The text breaks down varieties by maturity. First, medium and medium early types, good for 118, 130-day seasons, specific heat units. Lists like Shinzhendu number 1, Henong 76.
Yep. Those are picked because they fit that shorter window but still pack yield potential, and importantly, they tolerate being planted densely. That Shinzhendu number 1 example highlights its knack for using light and heat efficiently even when crowded.
Then there are the medium late ones. Longer season needed, 131, 140 days, more heat. Varieties like Jindo number 26, Zhongwang 35, the advantage being more growing time.
Exactly. More time allows them to potentially develop more pods, maybe plumper grains. They can really leverage that longer period of sunshine and warmth to build biomass and yield, assuming the climate allows for that longer season.
Okay, variety match to conditions and system. Makes sense. Now, land preparation. Getting the soil right from the start seems non-negotiable. Very specific rules for plot selection, especially pH and salt levels.
Yeah, those soil chemistry parameters are critical. pH 8.3 or lower, salt 0.1% or less. That zone is best for root growth, nutrient uptake. And good drainage is a must, obviously. Plus, starting with reasonably fertile soil helps.
It also warns against planting after sugar beet or sunflowers. Why those specifically?
Likely share disease or pest issues, or maybe nutrient depletion patterns that don't suit soybeans right after. It's about breaking potential problem cycles.
And then deep plowing, like 30 centimeters deep. What's the big win there?
Breaking up the plow pan, that hard layer that can form below normal tillage depth, deep plowing loosens everything up. Better aeration, better water infiltration and holding capacity. It encourages roots to go deeper, accessing more water and nutrients. Plus, it can boost beneficial soil microbe activity.
Right, creating a better root environment. After plowing comes mechanical land preparation with a combined machine. And these quality standards, soil moisture, uniformity, flatness, looseness, fragmentation, and cleanliness. That's a detailed checklist for a seedbed.
It really is. Each one matters for getting good germination and strong early growth. Right moisture for sprouting. Uniformity and flatness for even irrigation. Easy machine work. Looseness for roots, fragmentation for good seed-soil contact, vital for water uptake. And cleanliness means fewer weeds competing right away.
It paints a picture of a perfect starting bed. Okay, next. Seed preparation. Quality seed selection sounds like a baseline requirement.
Absolutely. Starting with top-notch seed, large, plump, pure, disease-free, high germination rate. They specify 95% or better. It sets the stage for a uniform, vigorous stand of plants. You can't cut corners there.
And then seed treatment. Coating the seeds, even sun-drying them.
The coating is like insurance. Protects against early soil-borne diseases and pests that hit young seedlings. Gives them a better start. The sun-drying, just for a day or two, can help sterilize the seed surface a bit, maybe break slight dormancy, and just generally boost germination vigor. Faster, more even emergence.
Okay, protected and primed seeds. Now weeds. Chemical weed control uses a two-pronged attack before planting and after emergence.
A smooth strategy. Hit them early, hit them again if needed. The pre-sowing soil enclosure uses herbicides like S-metolachlor or flumioxazin mixed into the topsoil layer.
And they specifically warn against some common ones like acetochlor.
Yeah, interesting, right? Suggests those might stunt early soybean growth in this specific system. Shows the level of fine-tuning involved, even with weed control. Precision matters.
Then after the soybeans are up, post-emergence stem and leaf control. A specific herbicide mix for grasses and broadleaves, safe for the soybeans. Timing and weather seem key here.
Definitely. You need to spray when the weeds are most vulnerable, usually when they're young and actively growing.
Hmm.
And yeah, good weather, no wind, sunny day ensures the spray covers well, gets absorbed, and doesn't drift where it shouldn't.
Right. Now, planting density again, but with numbers. Medium late varieties planted a bit less dense than medium ones. And the 6-row per membrane mode, like cotton, what's the logic there?
Wow, that configuration. You
Yeah.
have 6 rows relatively close together under plastic mulch, with the drip tape often running down the middle of the narrower gaps, then wider alleys between these 6-row bands. It's designed to get water and nutrients efficiently to the roots via the drip tape within that band. The spacing aims to balance maximizing plant numbers overall with ensuring enough light gets into the canopy and air can circulate. Helps growth, reduces disease risk. Even thinking about the edge rows getting max light is part of it.
Very structured. Then, precision seeding with navigation. Tractors with GPS, specialized seeders. Sounds high-tech and efficient.
It's a major step up. One tractor pass does multiple jobs. Lays the drip tape, puts down the plastic film, plants the seed precisely, depth, spacing, covers it, even compacts the soil slightly.
Wow, all at once.
Pretty much huge boost in efficiency, less labor needed. And the precision is incredible. Uniform planting leads to uniform emergence and growth. The GPS navigation cuts down on overlaps, gaps, really maximizes land use.
Okay, planting done precisely. Then immediately, dripping water for emergence. Getting water on right away seems vital.
Absolutely critical. That 15-30 cubic meters per moo, ideally split into 2 quick applications right after sowing. It ensures the seeds get the moisture they need to kickstart germination quickly and evenly.
Why 2 applications?
First one probably really saturates the seed zone. The second reinforces that moisture level, helps consolidate it as the seedling starts pushing out.
Yeah.
But you do need to watch. You don't overdo it, make it too wet.
Right, balance. Okay, plants are up. Then comes cultivation, actually disturbing the soil after emergence. What's that for?
Yeah, a couple passes. It helps loosen the topsoil again, improves aeration for the roots, helps warm the soil, can boost microbe activity. It also takes out small weeds that might have popped up, and improves water infiltration later. Just need to be careful not to get too close to the young plants.
Okay, careful soil stirring. We then circle back to chemical regulation later with more specifics. Mepiquat chloride, paclobutrazole, perhexadione calcium, different timings, different doses for those ideal plant shapes.
Exactly. This section details the strategy, using different PGRs at different growth stages to fine-tune things, controlling stem height early on with mepiquat chloride, maybe encouraging branching or pod set later with others like paclobutrazole or prohexadione calcium. It's very prescriptive based on growth stage and variety needs.
Got it. Next, super important, prevention and control of diseases and pests. Big emphasis on prevention first, like the seed treatment. Then it lists specific threats and controls.
Yep, a whole integrated pest and disease management plan. Covers things like thrips during flowering, pests like cotton bollworms, beet armyworms, red spider mites later on, and root rots too.
Recommending specific chemicals, but also mentioning rotating them.
Crucial point. Rotating insecticides and fungicides with different modes of action helps prevent pests or diseases developing resistance. Standard good practice, but vital in an intensive system. It also mentions maybe tank mixing foliar fertilizers with sprays, boosting plant health while controlling problems.
Multitasking sprays. Okay. Then more detail on water and fertilizer regulation, reinforcing that feed them what they need when they need it idea, different needs early versus flowering potting.
It hammers home that precision nourishment principle. The drip system makes it possible. Low water, mainly nitrogen early, high water demand, more P and K during flowering and pod fill. It mentions a soybean water and nutrient demand law table, probably a reference guide they use based on research, to know exactly what the plant requires at each stage, tailoring inputs based on science.
Based on the plant's actual physiological needs, finally, harvest at the appropriate time. Timing is everything for yield and quality, it seems.
Absolutely. Harvest too early, grains aren't fully developed, moisture is high. Too late, you risk shattering losses, maybe weather damage. They look for visual cues. Most leaves dropped, pods dry, grains full.
And guidelines for the combine harvester. Cutting height, drum speed.
Yeah, practical tips to minimize losses during the mechanical harvest. Keep the cutter bar low, 10 centimeters to get low pods. Keep drum speed moderate, 300 RPM to avoid cracking beans. Adjust threshing clearance for bean size. All about getting the beans out clean and undamaged. Ideal moisture target around 13% for safe storage.
It really covers every single step meticulously.
It does.
Wow. So this ultra high yield system, It's just incredibly comprehensive, isn't it? Every stage, from picking the seed to running the combine, is optimized and controlled. It really shows what happens when you combine precision tech, targeted inputs, strategic interventions, and constant monitoring.
Absolutely. It's a powerful demonstration of boosting yields and efficiency, especially where the conditions are right. It's a strong case study for high-quality, science-driven agricultural development, definitely relevant for meeting food demands.
So for you, our listener, as you process all this, maybe think about the bigger picture. What are the implications of such intensive farming tech on resources, on the future of how we produce food globally?
Yeah, could other crops benefit from this kind of hyper-precision? What are the broader environmental questions, the economic factors we need to weigh up, especially as we try to feed a growing planet?
Lots to chew on there. We really hope this deep dive gave you some valuable insights into this fascinating area of farming innovation. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.